If you want to start your own thing, it's 100% possible. I think that if you want to live a life that's truly a free, happy life, it's got to be a DIY life, a do-it-yourself life. I think that you've got to start small. But I think if you can find some people who you can trust, start asking them questions. So I don't know, whatever the space is that you're interested in, real estate, contracting, you want to open up a buy here, sell here auto lot. Man, those things make fucking unreal money, and you can go repo those right and get your down back and get you. I mean, those are cash cow places. You want to be material suppliers. Those places make tons of money. If you want to get your own thing off the ground, be prepared to work your ass off.
All right, Jess, welcome to the show, bro.
Thanks, Ross. Appreciate you having me on, buddy.
Absolutely, man. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on here. Excited to chat, hear your story. I know you have a lot going on, man. Why don't you start off by telling us, man, who you are and what you do?
Yeah, man. My name is Jess Marshall, owner, operator, Autograph Construction, roofthehouse.com, Dallas Garage Builder, and 0515 Improvements LLC here in Dallas, Fort Worth. And usually what I'm doing throughout the day, most days, is helping my guys learn how to process claims, learning how to sell construction services and insurance claim services to new clients. And then we do a lot of real estate investing and real estate improving, kind of pairs right along with what we're doing all day, every day. So do a lot of team building, always looking for new talent, always looking to bring new guys on who are team oriented, who want to build wealth, who want to work hard and hustle for a living. And we're out there trying to do it right, man. This is an industry with a lot of shady characters. So you can really set yourself apart just by doing some little things. We try to do those little things every day, man.
I dig that, brother. Yeah. Construction is definitely an interesting business, man. Definitely, especially as a consumer. You know, we're always taught as real estate investors, right, that there's two types of contractors. There's the ones that work with investors, and then there's the ones that don't.
Right.
And you want to find the ones that work with investors because the other guys are going to charge you 3x, 5x, 10x.
That's right, man. You can't be looking for contractors if you're an investor. You can't be going to Google, Yahoo. You can't hear somebody on the radio, see their ad on TV, watching a Astros game or a Rockets game and think that, hey, that guy's going to be able to give me the type of price point that I'm going to need in order to be able to execute this scope of work and keep value. You got to go find those guys. Those guys, usually you're going to find guys who are good at their job actually doing work on job sites. But yeah, man, you're right. If you expect to find value by finding guys we don't use the phone book anymore, but in the phone book, you're sadly mistaken. You're going to end up getting charged, like you said, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 times more than you should have had to pay.
Right. Absolutely, man. And you said you do a lot of work with storm damage. I know DFW is very prone to tornadoes and big hailstorms and whatnot. What's that like, man? What kind of damage can somebody see from just a blow through storm?
Yeah, it's crazy. We just had one on Saturday night. So obviously there's down in South Texas and down in Louisiana, especially around Lake Charles, everybody's dealing with the hurricane. Up here Saturday night, we had gale force winds, a bunch of fences and trees knocked over, roofs blown off. All that's just a typical Saturday night. Any Saturday night, all year around, it seems like in Dallas Fort Worth. That's why there's so many restoration contractors, and you don't have to be licensed to be a restoration contractor or a roofer in the state of Texas, which is, not good for home and business owners because they don't know who they're getting into bed with sometimes. But so it's crazy. Even Saturday during the day, my crew, all my guys were out knocking doors in a newly hail damaged area, got hit with hail 2.5 weeks ago. And we knocked on a guy's door. He signed up have us help him out with his roof claim. literally walked back by his house 2 hours later. My guys are all going back to their trucks. His house was on fire. And it's crazy, absolutely nuts. It's a crazy coincidence, but we ended up helping him out, introducing him to a PA. The PA met his adjuster for the walkthrough just 2-3 days ago. So we're dealing with tornadoes, high wind, hail. We also deal with flooding, not as much normally as South Texas and South Louisiana, but we do get flooding and, fires too. This was an electrical fire. It was crazy. But last October, we had a massive tornado blow through right up the gut, right through Dallas, blow down very busy Home Depot, a bunch of schools and $1 million homes all over the place, flattened or at least decimated by damage. So there is severe weather here in Dallas-Fort Worth all the time. And you never know, man. It comes out of nowhere. Hey, they always say there's nothing between Texas and Canada but barbed wire. So, man, this shit blows through at the drop of a hat. You never know what's around the next corner.
Yo, Jess, I have been to DFW many times, and I love Dallas, man.
There you go, man.
I love Dallas.
It's awesome.
I ran through Deep Ellum.
Yeah.
Downtown. I did many events out there. I love the city. I could never live there though because of the weather. So
really? Well, I mean,
dude, listen, brother. I am deathly, and I mean like deathly, bro. Like hide under the bed, afraid of tornadoes.
Well, let me build you a safe room, man. I'm about to build one for a guy over in Farmers Branch. He's actually a rugby friend of mine, and he's deathly afraid of him too. So I said, man, if you got $50K, let me build you an impenetrable safe room, and that's what we're going to do for him. So I can do that for you, man. Move up here. I'll build you a safe room, brother.
Are we talking under the ground, or are we talking?
It's halfway. It's half and half, and the rest of it's steel reinforced concrete block. I mean, nothing's blowing that bitch down. I can tell you that.
Man, yeah, dude. I do business out of Houston.
Yeah.
But I'm from up north, and I've never seen skies turn black and just open up with absolute destruction. Like down in Texas, bro. It's the thunder is just different.
Fucked up,
there.
man.
It's crazy, brother. But for a guy like you, man, you know that's your business. So
it is.
I mean, thing, right?
Yeah, we tell people we use hammers and nails and pray for hail. So it's just one of those necessary evils around here. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about the weather except for try to be prepared. I think what we try to tell clients all the time, if something hits you, if it damages your home or business, make us your first call. We'll be out there right away, make sure we get you in the dry, and then we'll help you out. We can't negotiate your insurance claim because we're not public adjusters, but we know tons of public adjusters, appraisers. We connect our clients with the people who can help them because unfortunately insurance carriers aren't as honest as they say they are on Super Bowl commercials. So, we're always trying to advocate for our clients, put our clients first, and that's super important to us. And making sure that the client is fairly dealt with, man, that should be priority one to every carrier, but unfortunately it's not. So it's one of those things that if you get hit, you never know who's on your side, who's not. You don't know who to trust. And we've positioned ourselves in the market here in Dallas-Fort Worth as an independent contractor who's got the best in mind for the client first. So I think that's pretty important stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Absolutely. So, Jess, how long have you been in the construction space now?
Yeah, man, for about 25 years. So I grew up in the state of Washington, and then I ended up down here in the North Texas area to go to college. Finished up college there, and really noticed that I grew up farming, and so construction's in my blood. You're building and solving problems every day. I love that, working with my hands. Notice when I moved here, you got a year-round build season, and you might have a week here or a week there where it's too cold. Other than that, if you can stand the heat, you can be out there making a living. And so I started working construction when I was in college to pay for college, and just kind of things took off from there, and started to pair the construction. So I call it customer service contracting. It's a lot of what we do all day, every day. Started to pair that along with residential contracting. So real estate investment contracting. So I can use these all these crews over here for the customer service contracting, and then I can keep them busy on my my real estate investment projects. I keep my guys busy all year long. I don't have to be chasing subcontractors all over the place. My quality doesn't dip. I'm able to keep continuity, keep everybody working, keep everybody earning money, and also hopefully some multiple streams of income there as well.
Nice, man. And how have y'all been holding up through COVID over the last couple of months?
I mean, to say that's a challenge is an understatement. I think it's a challenge to everyone. You know, my hat is off to those people who are trying to survive, who own bars and restaurants, obviously. Some other service type industry things like hair salons and things like that. It's just been hit much, much harder than construction has. We're still deemed essential, so we've been working every day since. But I mean, it's been crazy, man, trying to figure out childcare for my guys. And you can't send your kids to school or daycare. Both parents need to be out working. Has been an absolute just mammoth challenge, and we've met those challenges every day. But to say that it's been a breeze for the last 6 months would be a fucking lie. I mean, it's been, almost every day we wake up and we're faced with something some type of problem or challenge that we've never faced before. It's just crazy, all the way down to we've got logistical challenges now. Obviously, there's trade issues with China. We get a lot of raw construction materials from China. So there are supply chain issues. There's inventory issues. I mean, you want to go buy a new awesome car off a lot. Looks like you're a car guy. You can't do that. There's inventory issues all over the place if you're a big car guy.
You ain't kidding, bro.
Yeah, trying to get equipment, I know I've got a bunch of friends who are down in Lake Charles right now trying to get generators. Can't get those, man. I mean, everybody was shutting down because of COVID. Now, obviously, it killed less than 10,000 people. We were obviously just greatly misled. But, you know, those of us out here hustling for a living like you and I do, we've got to do what we got to do on a daily basis. And COVID has been a challenge. Whether or not it was weaponized as, you know, a political weapon is up to, you know, people over my pay grade to decide. All I know is I got to keep my guys busy, and I got to make sure that my clients get taken care of, and I got to feed my family. So whatever I fucking got to do that, that's what I'm going to fucking do every day. And challenges are what guys like you and I are built to face. So bring it on, you know?
Exactly, bro. Speaking of shortages, man, there was like a good month. There was no roast beef. Roast beef. It was gone. Every single deli I went to, they're like, there's no roast beef anymore. It's gone.
You gotta go to sliced turkey, bro.
I'm like, I gotta go to turkey now. Like, man, I never thought I'd live in a world where roast beef is such a high commodity. Then the butcher tells me, you know, when it comes back, it's gonna be extremely expensive. It's a hot commodity now. I'm like, holy smokes. You know, you don't think about those little things, like you said, right? Like the supply chain, right?
No,
it just trickles all the way down.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Right? I mean, dude, we live in a world where a couple of months ago there was no toilet paper. So
right. Yeah.
You need toilet paper, you're fucked.
No hand sanitizer.
Nothing.
Yeah. I mean, just crazy. Crazy. Yeah.
So Jess, you said you grew up in Washington State, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's sweet, brother. I've been there, man. Beautiful state, man. Bro. I've been to Yakima, Tacoma, Bing.
Have you? There you go.
Yeah, man. I had some friends out there a while back, dude.
Right on.
I hit up Mount St. Helens.
There you go, man.
Did the
that volcano, that Mount St. Helens volcano, is the reason why we now have orientated strand board. You know, OSB, what you deck a roof with, or what you you put on the walls of a house before you put the brick on, or before you put siding on. OSB, it looks like some people call it particle board, but it's a strand board. It's got all these different directions. Well, that was invented at university where I started school, Washington State University, using volcanic timber from Mount St. Helens. Washington State University is where that was invented, OSB. And now you see OSB everywhere. Now they have actually taken the waterproofing where you used to put OSB up, then you put Tyvek or another, brand house wrap over it. Now a German company has perfected the technology where the waterproofing is all on one side. So you see those zip panels everywhere, those green sheathing and red roofing panels, but that's all OSB. That's all from Mount St. Helens. That's how that all originated, that technology. It's pretty crazy.
No kidding, bro.
Yeah, they had all of this volcanic timber. They had to do something with it. So engineering school there at Washington State started to do some research and figure out, hey, what can we do? How can we build this? So yeah, man, just a little fun fact for you there, man.
I love the Pacific Northwest, bro.
Me too, bro.
One of my favorite parts about up there, bro, is that ferry, man, where you could just drive the car on.
Yeah. Where'd you go out there? See, I grew up on Whidbey Island. So one of the we were bridge onto one end of the island, ferry off the other end. Where were you?
You're in Seattle.
Sure.
There's a town, I think it's called either Braggington or Bremerton.
Yeah.
I hit up
and
Bremerton.
There's the Bainbridge Island ferry, and cool, man. That's awesome.
So, dude, I hit up the Boeing factory out there, man. That thing is insane, bro.
Yeah, it sure is, man.
People don't realize how big that place is.
No, they don't, man. It's a marvel to see how they put all those machines together and just see how they put all those people to work. It's crazy.
I know, man. I know. Airline industries aren't doing too hot right now.
No.
There's a lot of layoffs.
Yeah. Airlines suffering. Oil and gas obviously took just some people will never recover. Have had to go. I've got friends who've had to go in different directions because of the bottom fell out of oil and gas. And so yeah, man. I mean, know a lot of people who are hurting, but a lot of people like guys like you, the type of people you and I know, super resilient people. They almost welcome adversity. They almost welcome a challenge. They're like, bring it the fuck on. Let's see what you got. And I think you have to be like that if you're running your own thing because, man, life's trying to take you out at every turn. Sometimes it seems like.
See, Jess, for me, bro, I've been in the entrepreneurial space for like 7 years now, and for me, I come from the hospitality space. I used to serve tables and sling drinks. Yeah. I live every day like it could all be taken away tomorrow, and I could be right back behind that bar. So I always try to plan in my mind for that rainy day. So I think that's one thing that's been able to help me get through the tough times economically because, I planned for it in a way, right?
Yeah.
Some people, they unfortunately, they get very, very comfortable. They think that it's always going to be coming in no matter what. They're always going to have tons of work no matter what. And then when it stops and the well goes dry, they have no know-how of doing anything else, right? Or adjusting. What are your thoughts on that?
I totally agree. I don't know if you know who Kenny Florian is, but he's a UFC fighter, MMA guy. He's a MMA coach now, and he says that in his opinion, what life boils down to is the acquisition of life skills. So you learn life skills, you perfect those life skills, and then you execute those life skills, and then you go gain more life skills. And I completely agree with that. So for me, if everything went up in smoke and all my guys decided to go work for somebody else, I know I can still build. I've framed houses with my own two hands. Like I said, grew up farming, so I've got a lot of life skills. And I think that I really think that comfort is the tried and true and full on enemy of success. If you're comfortable, you're fucked. And, before we came on this program, you talked about Joe Rogan. He talks about it all the time. And he has guys on like Jocko Willink and David Goggins talking about, hey, get out there and do something hard today. What is that? Is that a workout that you don't want to do because it's 104 out with 90% humidity? Is it you've been procrastinating on some work things that you need to do? Is it getting your diet, your nutrition squared away? Whatever it is, do something hard today. Because when you start doing something hard and then the next day you do it, next day you do it, next day you do it, you can now accomplish things that are more and more and more difficult. Instead of being intimidated by that adversity is something that you welcome, because instead of seeing adversity as a negative, you now see adversity as a positive. It's an opportunity. Here's adversity. It's gonna ask me, it's gonna test me, it's gonna test my mettle as a person. Am I gonna be able to step up? Am I gonna be able to crush this adversity and move through it? Or is it gonna crush me back? Because because I mean, it's one thing's going to happen one way or the other. It's going to beat you, or you're going to beat it. Sometimes it is going to beat you, but can you get up the next day and face it again and go after it? So yeah, man, 100%. Like if you are resting on your laurels, you feel like you've made it, whether you're an athlete, whether you're in business, whether you're an entertainer, man, you're screwed, right? Because there's no hunger there anymore. You've lost it. And so sometimes creating synthetic hunger is fake, like a fake sense of urgency is required. I mean, I tell my guys all the time that, you got to crush fear, but sometimes fear, it can be the best motivator. You just explained it in your life. You've got this fear of, hey man, if I got to treat every day like I'm starting from zero, otherwise I'm going to end up behind that bar again, lose everything I've got. And I mean, that's a hell of a motivator. It's some of the best ever to do it. Like Michael Jordan, he would 100% tell you that losing is not an option. And he's got a bigger fear of losing than love of winning. And I think those are the types of things that I feel strongly about. And those are kind of some of the ways that I try to live my life as well.
My man, absolutely agree, bro. Some golden nuggets, man. You spilling them already, brother. I love it.
You're good at your job, man.
I love it, bro. My man. All right, so Jess, talk to us about your upbringing, right? So I want to go back in time, right? Mm-hmm. And if you could share with us, what kind of upbringing you had. I know you said you grew up, on a farm, right? Well, tell us, man. What was it like for you growing up?
Yeah, you bet, man. So my dad's actually a minister. So we grew up, in church a couple times a week, went to small church type school as well, and just learned to work hard. We for sure had fun, spent a ton of time outside, man. I was, doing the Boy Scout thing, hunting, fishing, hiking, canoeing, doing all that type of stuff, which you can imagine up there in the Pacific Northwest is kind of what we all did. But then also sports were very, very important to me and to a lot of my friends growing up. We learned a lot of lessons playing sports, and those are some of the greatest memories that I've got from growing up. Or the times I spent with my teammates in practice and in games, losing and winning. And we just learned, my dad's and my mom instilled serious work ethic in me and my brother and sisters growing up. There was a time to work and then a time to play, and you didn't get that time to play until that work was done. And so, those are some of the principles that I was raised with. I wasn't a huge fan of school. I'm not going to lie. I don't really like being inside very much at all. So it was hard for me to stick to it. But I got my high school degree and then got to play a little ball in college and got my college degree as well. And I think, I don't think college at all is a prerequisite for success, but I do think that seeking out and finding an education that fits what you want to do with your life is. I always encourage my guys, whether they've got a college degree or not, to always be in pursuit of knowledge, because you can never take someone's education away. And I was talking earlier about life skills. You can't ever, once you've learned something, you can't take that away from someone. So if you empower yourself with knowledge, with experience, with skills, man, that's invaluable. But yeah, growing up, man, being outside, being active, fishing, hunting, playing ball, those are the highlights that my childhood was made of, and those are definitely my best memories for sure.
Sweet, brother. At what point, I know you said that you went down to Texas to go to school, right? What were you studying in school?
I was studying business. So my major was entrepreneurship and strategic management at the University of North Texas in Denton. And learned a lot, man. Taking some really tough accounting classes. Some of those accounting principles I still use today. Some of those statistics principles that were also tough for me to grasp, but I finally did. I use a lot of those as well.
Why did you choose that path?
I felt like it was a little more broad than I was very interested in engineering and very interested in architecture as well. But my dad encouraged me. He was like, hey, if you're going to be an architect, there will be a time to specialize in that. Why don't you learn how to run a business first? I've always been entrepreneurial. So whether it was growing up, shoveling driveways or delivering newspapers to make extra money, I was always figuring out a way to earn extra, to get, to advance myself in terms of dollars. So that entrepreneurial spirit's always been there. And I think my dad was very encouraging of trying to choose a degree path that was a little more broad, that would be able to help me as I moved forward. And I'm thankful that he did, because I learned a ton. And I also learned the differences in people, right? If every single person on the planet was like me, then, not a lot of people would like, not a lot of people, because not very many people like me.
I like you, bro. Why don't people like you, man?
Let's get some drinks, bro. No, I mean, hey, all my rugby friends like me. I'm kind of a hard driving guy, but I learned that the differences in people are what make a really strong team, right? You can't have an entire team of Tom Brady's. You got to have your linebackers and your receivers and your pass rushers. And so the importance of building a team that's super diverse in terms of skill sets and also personalities and approaches. We do a lot of sales and a lot of sales training in my team. And I got guys, some guys who are super laid back, and I got some guys who are really, really direct. And each different personality has differing degrees of success, but they are all successful when they kind of put our formula into place of following up and communicating and clients first and educating clients, things like that. And so in college, I just really learned the difference between people and how to fit everyone in at the right angle and at the right time and in the right place to get a win as a team. Because when you're trying to do something as a team, you're trying to achieve and pursue wins and success. And so I learned a lot about that in college. And I think that's what college kind of is all about: learning who you are as a person, who other people are, learning how to respect them, and learning how to identify skills and talent in other people, and just learning how to work a system. Because when you go to college and you get a degree, man, there's a lot of people with degrees who are digging ditches. It's about learning how to work a system and how to identify opportunities and attack and grasp those opportunities when they present themselves.
Now, how did you pay for college?
Yeah, with a paper check and a pen, bro. I roofed houses, I built patio covers, I built garages, I poured concrete. I did anything and everything construction, and I paid for college. I came out of college at the end with zero debt, paid for it all myself, and so that was a challenge, because I also was very, very involved in the rugby scene in college, and I got married my senior year as well. So to say I was busy is a little bit of an understatement. So I'm not really used to having sit around time, even now. It's a foreign concept to me. I don't sit at home and play Fortnite or watch Dr. Phil reruns. That's for goddamn sure. I'm out there hitting the bricks every day, bro.
So no games, no video games.
You know what? No, growing up, those weren't allowed. We played absolutely none. In college, there's a rugby video game that came out on EA Sports, and I would play that once in a while after rugby trainings, just, all the guys over at the house. But no, I don't, and I don't know. I think a lot of our youth these days would be better served maybe spending their time outside, even if it is hot, learning how to, build things with their hands and things like that. Because I do respect technology quite a bit, but I think it's so fucking easy to just sit around and hit that bull one more time, and before you know it, the day is gone. You've achieved fucking nothing, and you do that 52 times, and that's a year. 52 weeks, that's a year. So
kids nowadays, definitely a different world that we're living in.
I like how you said that. Kids nowadays.
Yeah, bro. Some of these kids are making some big money.
Sure. Yeah. You got it. Hey, much love. That's awesome. Get after it. Go fucking make that money doing what you love. If tech is going to pay the bills, listen, the the smartest guys in the world are the richest guys in the world are tech guys, right? So let's not make any bones about it. They're not out there swinging a fucking hammer, sweating. Although, I mean, you got to give guys like Gates and Bezos their due, man. They built their ship from absolute nothing out of their garage to be the guys they are now because they were visionaries and they put tech to use. I guess it's more of a just I think you see a lot of times that sometimes the gaming with the kids, it lends itself toward, there's a lot more, it's a lot more for recreation than education. I don't think you would have found Bezos or Gates on their couch hitting that bong one more time and letting 1 week devolve into 52. You know what I'm saying? Those guys were hard drivers from the get-go. So
yeah, bro, I hear you. There's a lot of laziness out there nowadays, right?
A fuck ton, bro. I talk about it all the time. I've shot a bunch of videos about it too, about how pervasive being a flake is. I don't really know how to say it other than that without, dropping a bunch of F-bombs around it, but just like not being reliable, not being a good communicator, not being consistent. Like those are really, really simple things. Those do not take a Rhodes Scholar intellect to beat, right? They just take a little bit of discipline to be reliable, consistent, and a good communicator. I mean, a good communicator doesn't mean you have a huge vocabulary. It just means you answer a fucking text message in like 30 minutes, not 3 days. You know what I'm saying? And it's tough stuff. I tell my guys all the time, man, when a client reaches out, if you are lightning fast to respond, or if you reach out to a client before they even have to reach out to you, man, you're going to set yourself apart. And setting yourself apart these days is easier than it ever has been, I feel like. Now, you get out there with the savages who are hustling, and you had better fucking bring your A game, because they are all the 1%. They are all communicating at lightning speed. They are all, enhancing their knowledge base. They're all learning. They're all extremely disciplined people, and that's what you have to be if you want to be in that 1%, and you want to be pulling down that 1% in terms of dollars. You'd better be competing at that 1% level. So that's
so true, man. I just hired this company to do some side work for me. It's an online service-based company, and because of COVID, they're not offering support to customers. Like they shut down their support. It's a fucking mess, man. I know. That's not now. 5 days.
Fuck that.
To get a response.
Fuck that. Fuck that.
I
deal with insurance carriers all the time. You're trying to tell me that you can't send your entire staff home, they can't all work remotely, and you can't answer fucking phone calls in a timely fashion? I reject that. I summarily reject that. That's complete bullshit. And do not use the pandemic as an excuse to be lazier than you already were, or you can fucking get fucked. And I'll take my business elsewhere. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Man.
I mean, hey, COVID's hit everybody. I bet you're still responding when there's a hot deal. I bet you're all over it,
of course,
and you gotta be. So,
dude, customer support is everything, man. Like,
yeah,
I've definitely had some experiences over the last couple of months with just, pandemic happens and people just throw all the principles out the window, man.
Bullshit, man. Gone. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We subcontract out several tasks. I'm trying to think of one where I've had a good experience. You know what? Graphic designer who reworked all my logos, everything. One of the best experiences I've had in customer service, and it's been during COVID. And it's because you just, in business, you have, and it does take some work, but if you can find the type of people who operate like you operate, you're going to put together a dynamite team. Whether that's a team of subcontractors who are renovating a flip for you, or that's your title company and your realtor, and this is the time, right? Because right now it's really easy to tell who the contenders and the pretenders are, right? I mean, the contenders are standing out because the pretenders are using everything as an excuse to be more lazy and less productive. And I don't know, man. For all of its negatives, COVID has really showing you who's going to rise above and who's going to get knocked off their game. And I've hired some really, really solid new team members over the last 3 to 4 months that I'm super excited about. who, for whatever reason, their previous employment opportunity dried up, and they might not have been a candidate before COVID, but now they're like, hey, I want to do something and I want to control my own fucking destiny. And I'm like, come on, jump on board. Let's get this done. Because in sales, you can control your own destiny. You write your own paycheck. As hard as you want to work, that's as successful as you're going to be. And so sales is cutthroat, though, man. It's not cut out for everybody. I have people call me all the time. I tell them, oh, this is what is going to be expected of you. And maybe 2 in 10 even make it to their first interview, because these people are like, oh man, I don't know if I can hack that. And I'm like, yeah, well, if you don't know right now, then the answer is fuck no, you cannot hack it. So COVID's crazy though, man, right? Like it's nuts that that companies who depend on your dollars, my dollars, just treat us like an afterthought. It blows my mind, but it's happening every day.
Absolutely, bro. So, Jess, you graduate college, right? You said that you were, doing some side work, some side gigs to pay for school.
Yeah.
You get the degree, right? In entrepreneurship and in business, right? Was that
strategic management? It's a business degree.
Business degree. Mm-hmm. You graduate, okay? Doors open, you're done. Now what? What do you do?
Yeah, so I mean, the construction thing continued to be very attractive to me. I think I flipped my first house within 18 months of graduating college. So I started to move into the insurance claim and restoration space full time. Now I didn't have classes to go to. Got a degree under my belt. And it just taught me to work harder than I had already been taught to work. And it also helped me network. So I had met a lot of people in school, and I just started, stacking, brick on brick on brick, which is kind of what you have to do. And just continued to move through this residential and light commercial construction. I built some car washes, some self-storages, a couple of airplane hangars, a couple of them with tornado shelters in them, man, actually, and started to build a client base, and then started to put together a team. And now here I am, 20 years after college, not quite, 16, 17 years after college, and, have built a couple of businesses up and continue to try to perfect the real estate investing craft. While also building this team up, because we are in so many doors. So, as many doors as maybe a wholesaler would be in, just knocking on doors, hey, can I buy your house? Can I buy your house? We're in a lot of those houses that are already distressed. And so we've been able to turn that into a bit of a core competency, trying to identify, investment properties, because you make money in real estate when you buy, not when you sell. So if it's got to be a deal on the front end, or it's never going to work out at the end. And so yeah, man, that's what I've been doing for the last 20 years. Come hell or high water, we got through the 07-08 thing. That really I had that was a gut punch to me, like it was to everyone who was in real estate at that time, and learned some lessons. I think it's just like anything else. That was just a challenge. It was an adversity. You got to get over it and just keep on going. You can't let it get you down, because there were people who committed suicide because of that 07-08 crash, man. I mean, there's movies made about that shit. I mean, that took a lot of people by surprise, including me. And it's just, at a certain point in life, it's just one foot in front of the other, even when it's not fun, because it's going to get fun again. And life's too short for it to just be drudgery the whole time. So you're hoping in business, man. I hope things, open back up. And, we're faced with it again now because of COVID. Very similar, right, to the 07-08 crash. Nobody saw that coming. That came out of the blue. There were some hedge fund people who saw it coming, and they bet against the bubble, and they won. But COVID's very similar, right? Like out of the blue, pandemic. I mean, nobody's ever seen anything like this. Shutting down the economy, bringing it to a screeching halt, and now we're trying to dig our way out of that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. So it seems like when you got out of college, and I want to still spend some time during this part of your life, it seems like when you got out of college, you already kind of knew what you wanted to do, right? Like
Yeah,
you're gonna go build the construction business, and you're gonna go make that happen.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. You know, it took me a long time to decide to build a team, which is a little bit odd because every team that I was ever on, I was either the team captain or in a leadership role of the team. But I've got this thing in business for a long time. I don't know if I would say I procrastinated or maybe it worked out for the best because I was doing the construction thing by myself for a really long time and built up a great client base, I believe, because of that, because they got my full attention. But I also learned, man, fucking everything you could learn about, especially customer service contracting, down to, you know, how to file liens, how to collect from people who are delinquent, the tough stuff, how to deal with almost every customer service scenario you could possibly imagine. And that's really helped me now because now I've got a bunch of young guys and gals working for me who they come to me with a challenge. Hey, what should I do here? Man, I've been through that. And I see, you know, some guys who are quite a bit younger than me who are trying to build a team and they lose their team as fast as they're building it. So they're taking one step forward, two steps back a lot of times because they don't have that experience base to be able to offer advice that's based on experience to get through things. So I coming out of college, I definitely knew I wanted to be in and stay in construction. I definitely knew that I love architecture. I love real estate. I think more than anything, it was just kind of pursuing that path, and that I took a lot of pride in the fact that I've built everything that I have myself. And I'm only just now really reaching out and doing it more and more proactively to brainstorm and to mastermind with mentors and with peers and with colleagues to try to continue to improve my game every day.
Jess, what would you say over the last 20 years, 25 years is your biggest challenge? Like one of the biggest challenges, the oh shit, my whole world's collapsing moments. Tell us about that.
Getting spread too thin for sure. So I think it's really, really hard when you are like a straight up hustler, like a Glenn Ross boiler room. You're just I'm mentioning some great salesmanship movies.
You are, man. You're impressing me, brother. You're dropping the Glenn again.
Yeah, I love A Most Violent Year as well. You should check that out with Jessica Chastain.
Put that fucking coffee down.
That's right, man. Coffee is for closers.
That's it, brother.
So yeah, man. I would say getting spread too thin. So when you're a hustler, you are chasing every deal like it's your last. You know, you're creating that almost fake fear on a daily basis. Maybe I got a bunch of money in the bank, but today when I wake up this morning, we're starting at 0-0. And I'm going to win the day every single day. Because if I do that every day for a year, I'm going to have a great year. Well, you've got to know when to cut your losses with clients. You have to know, man, this is starting to go south. And I either need this client to sign all these change orders or I've got to pull my crew. Man, that took me a long fucking time to learn. And I would say that the biggest adversities that I've been faced with are customer service scenarios where someone either was taking advantage of me because they mistook my kindness and the fact that I will not be outworked for weakness. And there are a lot of guys who are in construction and contracting who want to be people pleasers. Because, man, it's really hard to get good reviews if you're pissing people off, right? And, I mean, reviews weren't even a thing when I started at this shit. But we didn't even have fucking email till I was like a sophomore in college. So hopefully I didn't just date myself. But,
a little bit. But it's all good,
man.
It's all good.
I mean, I didn't even have I didn't even have a fucking cell phone, an actual real mobile phone till I was like 2-3 years out of college. It was those bag phones. You would plug them into your cigarette lighter. Other than that, when I first started contracting, you would hit the pay phone, call the client, tell the client you'd be there in 30 minutes, look it up in your Mapsco and drive over there and sell the job. So, back to the challenge thing. It's knowing when a client is trying to take you for a ride and identifying a client as a problem client in construction is tough, man. I mean, people are trying to get shit for free all the time. And, we're not the power company. You don't just get to go, oh, you didn't pay your bill, I'm going to turn your power off till you pay me. In construction, you have to furnish a lot of labor and material before you can get paid. And so I have been ripped off every goddamn way you can possibly think of. And again, that's helped me identify when you've got to cut bait with someone and when you've got to hold them accountable. That was a huge, those have been huge tests. And then, man, that crash in 07, 08, not to just go back to all bad news bears, but man, that was really, really tough, man. I was heavily invested in real estate at that time. And I took a hit just like everybody.
What would you say is your biggest financial loss during your business career? Where
what? Just like dollars?
Yeah, like whether you lost money on a flip or a rental property, or a customer took you for a ride and you lost money.
Man, yeah. So I would say at one time, one deal loss, around $250,000, something like that.
$250,000.
Yep.
Jeez Louise, bro.
Yep. Right.
On a deal that went bad, like one of your deals, or?
Yeah, a real estate deal that went bad, that, just things out of, it was a perfect storm type deal. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I mean, like you said at the beginning of the show, it could all go up in smoke. I could end up back behind the bar. It could all go up in smoke for me, and I could end up back with the tool belt on, framing houses. And to be honest with you, man, I might actually be a happier guy if that's how it was. I mean, there are many days when I think about just cashing it all in, going and building cabins for a living, getting lost up in the mountains somewhere, and rafting and hunting in my off time, because sometimes the hustle is a grind, bro. But, I love competition, like down to my bones. I welcome it. And I think I would miss it too much if I tried to bail. So, yeah, man, the losses teach you more than the wins. And, there's a lot of pain in that. But doing something hard every day, sometimes that's taking a loss. And, if you learn from your losses, then you never lose. You turn them into experience. Experience is knowledge. Everything else is just information. So you got to go through some of those hard times in order to gain the experience that it takes to succeed in the long run.
Jess, do you think that someone can make the same mistake twice?
Oh, I mean, I think it happens all the time. I have found a lot of I found it to be very, very helpful to have a team around me, a leadership team, a management team, because I still find myself in that straight hustler mode where, hey, I want to hire this person, even though they don't check the boxes, they don't meet our criteria. I feel like my enthusiasm, my energy, my vibe can change them into an effective subcontractor, an effective sales guy. And I've taken a step back and I let my leadership team go, no, they don't meet our criteria. We have a certain criteria there. My fiance as well. I use her as a sounding board. And I've got a couple of mentors, including my dad. I didn't really have any business mentors. So I have learned some hard lessons about trying to go too far, too fast, biting off more than you can chew. But I would much rather have it said about me when I'm pushing up daisies that, hey, this guy fucking went for it, than, he lived a nice, safe life. And that's all they'd ever say. Fuck that, man. Like, I'm going to hit the wall. They're going to find the car having hit the wall at 100 miles an hour because I welded the pedal to the metal. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you, brother.
I don't think guys like you and me can live any other way. There's a certain way you're built, and fuck fear, bring it on, let's go. And at a certain point, I feel like if you have the positive, if you're bringing the positive energy, the juice on a daily fucking basis, good things are going to happen. Bad things are too. Don't make stupid decisions. Back to your question. Yes, you can. I have made the same bad decision
a few times, the same mistakes, but I think you can start to learn from them, especially when you take a step back and you analyze the mistake and you say, oh, okay, this is what I did. Next time I'm in a similar scenario, I'm gonna think back to this and I'm gonna try to improve and try not to do this again.
Speaking of fear,
yeah,
we all afraid of something, brother.
Right.
I know it's in you too, man.
You bet.
You big and bad on the surface, but I know that in your soul, brother, you're definitely afraid of something, man. What's
Sure.
your biggest fear, Jess? What's your biggest
failure, man? It's crazy that you said that. I just put this on my Instagram stories because I don't know why it just struck me. If you wanna scorch and torch fear, you've got to be so afraid of failure that nothing else can even faze you. And failure, I'm more afraid of failure than anything.
What is failure for you, though?
Oh, I mean,
failure in what way?
You know what? Failure ultimately to me is that I gave up and I moved to the mountains and I'm a rafting guide and I'm building cabins and I've just, I'm just out of the game because it was too much for me. I couldn't take it. To me, that would be an ultimate failure. And it's one of those things where there are certainly times where the adversity seems like it's too much, and that's where I rely on my team, and where I rely on those sounding boards, going back to, hey, what do you think about this? Hey, what's up? Because they believe me, people come to me and ask me for my advice all the time. My advice is my advice. It's based on a fuck ton of experience. I can tell you that. People ask me for my advice. What I normally say is either, I've never gone through that, so this is what I would do, take it for what it's worth, or I'll tell them, you know what, my experience, this is what I went through and this is what happened. Ultimate failure, ultimately, what I'm most afraid of is just giving up. Because giving up, I think that's when a little piece inside you dies, because we all have dreams. If we weren't out here chasing dreams, we aren't doing this shit for our health. You know what I'm saying? Like this shit can be very stressful,
Speaking of dreams, what is your dream?
That's a really good question. I would love to build the type of wealth that allows me to do things with my time when I'm in my mid-50s that I can't do right now. Because right now I'm involved with the day-to-day to a degree where I can't, I can do some things that I want to do more than I could 10 years ago, but I'm still, it's a grind every single day. I mean, my full attention is required by my team and by my real estate investments every day. In 15 years ish, I would like to have enough wealth there that I can take more time to do things that I'm passionate about. Some of that's just fun, just good old fun, but some of it's also trying to improve the world around me. I would love to. That's got a lot to do with my dreams.
So tomorrow you snap your fingers and you're doing whatever you want to be doing, right?
Yeah.
What does that look like? Where are you, first of all, right? You can go anywhere in the world. Where are you?
Boy, that's a good question, man. I sure love Colorado. I really love New Zealand. And I love, the Pacific Northwest, and there's parts of Canada. I don't know if you've ever been up to Banff National Park in Canada, but that place is fucking unbelievable.
Have, bro.
It's
I need to.
You do. The Lake Coeur d'Alene area in Idaho is awesome. The Upper Peninsula of Michigan, as you can see, the outdoors are important to me. So, man, snap my fingers. I'd be able to travel anywhere, anytime. Have a nice family, have a couple of children, and be able to be involved in some things that I feel like would make a lasting difference. So working with youth, teaching them how, like, to me, it's such a bummer when I talk to friends of mine, my contemporaries who are my age, who don't want to go start their own thing because they're afraid. And I would love to be able to circumvent that a little bit and get to younger people before they're older people and let them know that, hey, you want to start your own thing? It's possible. All you got to have is some grit. So, yeah, man. And then being able to do some fun shit and be, when I am there financially, I want to make sure that I've got my health, that I'm still in really good shape. that I can move, that I can travel, that I can hike and run and bike and do all those things. Because, man, if we don't have our health, we've got nothing. I mean, I think if the last 6 months hasn't reminded us of that, then we're screwed. If your health isn't as important to you as it should be, then I think that's something that you should change right now. I try to make a concerted effort every day to get better at that. I'm not by no means perfect, but I'm trying to improve on a weekly basis my health, fitness, and man, you know what would be just so fucking awesome is having the ability to change someone's life financially. So if I was able to set some kids up with, man, you want to go into this type of business, you got to have this education. And if you want to do that and you can prove to me that you are the right candidate, I'm going to pay your way. That type of thing, that I've got a real passion for that type of thing.
Like creating your own scholarship kind of deal.
Yeah, but I mean, for like you can't go to college to be a real estate investor. In fact, going to college if you want to be a real estate investor might be a waste of time. Now, I don't necessarily think that's a completely true statement, because you can go to college and learn a lot about financials, learn a lot of really positive things that could help you be a real estate investor. But maybe even better than that would be trying to figure out some way to train people. I mean, there are a lot of different moving parts if you want to be a real estate investor, or if you want to be like a restoration contractor. Most people who are good at that either grew up with it, they stepped into the shoes that their dad had built a company, and then they took it over and they integrated tech. Like, we see that a lot in the restoration side. Like, my dad had tons and tons of contacts. We had a bunch of recurring contracts, and then I came in, integrated tech, and the thing took the next level. And then in the real estate investment game, so many kids get just completely caught up in the lie of how easy it is, because you have all these gurus out there telling them, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you can do this, you can do that. And it's not necessarily true. A little bit of boots on the ground training. Hey, go do this, go try that. Go be a wholesaler. Learn that for 6 months. Then go flip your first house. Then go flip your first multifamily, just whatever it is. I think that's the type of thing that could change lives.
I dig it, brother.
Yeah, man.
You know, there's a lot of phonies out there, brother. You and I both know that, man.
Bro.
There's a lot of phonies selling the pipe dreams.
It's fucking crazy, man.
It's fucking crazy, especially with TikTok, man. Have you got on TikTok yet?
No, man. I'm not very. I'm uncomfortable with it, just because, I'm just uncomfortable with the premise of it. So no, I've stayed away. I'm on Snapchat. I have one friend, my fiance. That's it. Because she sends me pictures of our dog. So,
man, the TikTok thing is crazy. Besides the privacy and the whole China Trump thing going on, but just the content, right? So there's all these stock guys on TikTok now telling you to buy this, buy that, and buy. And somebody that's brand new to the space, they don't know that you should never take financial advice from somebody, A, that you don't know, and B, without doing your own research. So there's people just pumping out these calls, right? Like, oh, go buy this, go. And people are losing money. They're losing, they're getting ripped because they don't know better, right? So, back to what you said earlier, man. The education is so important. Jess, right now, man, people have been tuned in. They listen to your story, man. You got them fired up. You got them excited. They want to go out there and hit the wall, whatever.
Yeah,
you said
brother.
before.
Find a brick wall and run through that bitch.
Car into the wall.
Fuck yeah, man.
Bro,
pedal to the metal, bro.
Oh, man. Jess, what's your message to the people, man?
Sure. So I think that if you want to start your own thing, it's 100% possible. I think that if you want to live a life that's truly a free, happy life, it's got to be a DIY life, a do-it-yourself life. I think that you've got to start small, but I think if you can find some people who you can trust, start asking them questions. So I don't know, whatever the space is that you're interested in, real estate, contracting, you want to open up a buy here, sell here auto lot. Man, those things make fucking unreal money, and you can go repo those right and get your down back and get you. I mean, those are cash cow places. You want to be material suppliers. Those places make tons of money. If you want to get your own thing off the ground. Be prepared to work your ass off, but start asking people questions, because you're going to be able to get answers back from the guys who are truly interested in helping out. And there are a lot of us like you, Ross, and like me, who are out here. If somebody asked me a question about something, I would be more than happy to have a coffee with them, or, you know, have a DM chat with them, give them some direction so that they didn't get ripped off by gurus. And then just understand that adversity is just the universe's way of testing you. So if you put it out into the universe that, hey, by the time I'm 55, I want to have the financial freedom to help youth, the universe is going to see if you deserve that or not. It's going to fucking test you. To whom much is given, much is required. But guess what? Before much is given, honestly, usually before that, a fuck ton is required. Like a lot's going to be asked of you. What is your character like? What are you made of? So, you know, it's not impossible. Go for it. Go for your dreams. Working for the man is no way to live your life. And if you don't go out and build your dreams, someone's going to hire you to build their dreams. That's a quote that I see all the time on social, and it's fucking 100% true. So whether it's keep your job now so you have something steady and then start your side hustle, man, just fucking go for it, because you're going to be 80 at some point, and you're going to be looking back, and the things that you're going to regret are the things you never did. I mean, we just lost an actor in the prime of his life on Saturday. Nobody even knew he was sick. He was 43. The dude's unbelievable. Life is so short, and you only get one spin on the rock. So fucking make it a big one. Go all in, and yeah, man, put that pedal right to that metal and just weld that bitch together.
I love it, bro. There's no redos.
No,
right?
bro. There are no redos. Absolutely not.
Jess, I gotta ask you, brother, before I let you go, man. What's the tattoo say?
Oh, all right. Yeah, man. It says "Truth Conquers" in Latin, and it's the coat of arms. It's my family coat of arms. It's very poignant, right? We're talking about frauds and scammers and all of that. You know, you can tell when someone's full of shit. I feel like you can tell when someone's full of shit. Sometimes it comes through the screen. It permeates how douchey someone is. Sometimes it's just their yellow Lambo that gives them away that they're probably full of shit. Or sometimes, you know, you meet them in person for coffee, and you can tell they've never done anything. They've never been through anything. Man, truth conquers. It's the one thing, man. The truth will set you free. Sometimes, like Jack Nicholson said, you can't handle the truth, and sometimes the truth hurts, man. And a lot of times people want to hear what they want to hear, so they gravitate toward the people who are saying that, like those prosperity preachers who tell you, like, you put your money in, God's gonna bless you with all the wealth, that type of bullshit. That's trash. Truth conquers. The real thing always wins,
Dude, I love it, brother. You dropped a ton of value here, man. And
Ross,
really
my bro, we should do this again, man. I like chopping it up with you, bro. I like your energy, man.
My man, dude, we're gonna have to do a part 2, bro.
Sweet.
So I'm thinking about creating this new segment, man. Somebody gave me the idea, to do like follow-ups. Like, yeah. So it's like, where are you now, right? What's changed since the last episode? So,
Sure.
We'll definitely stay in contact, man, and we'll link all your socials and website, company, and all that in the show notes. So for the listeners right now, if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, just look down below in the show notes. If you're on YouTube, go look in that description. And man, Jess, it's been a pleasure, brother. Thank you so much, man. Honestly, much appreciated.
I appreciate you, Ross, and have yourself a great rest of your week. Stay healthy, man, and we'll talk to you down the road.
You too, my man. Take care, bro. Enjoy the week.
Thank you.